Mr. President, we wish to thank the Undersecretary General, Mr. Lacroix, President Santos, and Madam Kadri for their briefings. We thank the United Arab Emirates for their assiduous preparatory work in the lead-up to the 28th session of the Conference of the Parties to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change in Dubai. We believe that the discussion of global issues faced by humankind by the changing climate, we view this as fundamentally important, particularly for developing countries. At the same time, we believe that at the United Nations, we insufficiently emphasize the critical role of sustainable development issues in the package of measures for conflict prevention, singling out merely climate from the broader context. Facilitating economic growth and sustainable and social welfare and fighting inequality are key elements to building sustainable societies that are able to effectively adapt to climate challenges. Achievement of sustainable development, without a doubt, contributes to eradicating the root causes of conflict. We emphasize the importance of the issue of climate financing. We wish to draw the Council's attention to the fact that developed countries are masters when it comes to fueling alarmism about the climate crisis. Delivering such populist statements is easy. However, when discussions at the UNFCCC transition to substantive issues about real measures, including financing and technology transfers, concrete measures for adaptation, and contributing to the new loss and damage fund, then all of the fervor of donor countries curiously vanishes. We urge developed countries, instead of merely flooding all possible various processes and organs with this popular agenda, instead to first and foremost fulfill their obligation to provide financial resources and technology transfers to developing countries to support their efforts towards climate change adaptation and mitigation. Mr. John Kerry, Honorable John Kerry, also spoke about financing, about the implementation of decisions to contribute to the loss and damage fund for COP28 would be a real litmus test for the willingness to contribute to combating the negative consequences of climate change, not discussions at the Security Council. Yes, in some country-specific and region-specific situations, the climate element can represent an additional factor which exacerbates conflict. However, the Russian Federation has consistently maintained that discussions of climate change falls outside of the mandate of the Security Council, that this merely detracts attention from the main causes of conflict, which are frequently socioeconomic in nature. The views of various institutions and research centers, of course, do have a right to exist. However, we have doubts that they have adequate expertise in the area of assessment of the linkage between climate and security. A direct link between the climate agenda and security is not science-based. It is not science-based, as confirmed by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Incidentally, we should like, for the record, to recall that climate change on planet Earth has occurred during all periods of its existence, either in the direction of temperatures going up or directions going down, with often negative consequences on habitat. The UNFCCC and the Paris Agreement are key mechanisms for consideration of issues linked to climate change. They effectively brought together countries to collectively resolve this global issue. There's a need to comply with the division of labor which has been enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations, not to duplicate the work of these instruments. We firmly believe that the General Assembly, ECOSOC, the United Nations Development System, and once again I repeat, the UNFCCC and the Paris Agreement represent reliable platforms to tackle challenges in the area of environment and sustainable development as a whole. The Russian Federation stands ready to continue proactively engaging with all countries within the above-mentioned formats to counter the adverse consequences of climate change. Thank you.